out there, and I want you to achieve something and leverage every single thing that you do. For instance, if I was Charles, I'd be leveraging this Dolce & Gabbana campaign with all kinds of fashion brands. I would be leveraging every time I shoot for Vogue or Vanity Fair with all the other magazines that you want to shoot for and all the advertisers that go into those magazines. It's absolutely critically important. Every single time I do a project, I leverage it, meaning that I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to showcase not only that I do that project, but that my clients know that I won an award. My clients know that I am shooting this major campaign or that I'm achieving this kind of success. Because if nobody knows it, then it doesn't really mean anything. So I want to make sure that each and every one of you, I need you to apply and I need you to win these awards, but I also need you to translate that into success. And that's going to be another facet of this webinar today. And I'm going to be talking about that with some of the panelists that jump on that are winners and how we can translate those amazing wins to success. So, okay, so I have some bullet points of essentially the most valuable lessons and the reasons of all these amazing photographers, 107 wins that were art directed by me and photographed by the Photography Workshop Series attendees. We're going to talk about what makes these photographers absolutely stand out. Okay, so we're going to get down to essentially like the top 8 strategies and secret strategies to winning awards. Now, some of these might seem kind of obvious, but they absolutely are missed by so many of you guys. Okay, so one of the things we want to start with, right, is we want to start to look at what awards are out there. And there's a million awards, and sometimes, they're just money makers for, educational programs, or, they're just kind of set up as a business or whatever. But some of the awards actually do mean something. Okay. And some of the ones that I would say are the most meaningful that I've noticed would be awards such as Lurzer's Archive. Lurzer's Archive is one of the most prestigious awards in all of photography. If you're in Lurzer's Archive, it's like the who's who of photography. Now, it's very, very heavy in Europe, hence the name. It's kind of an interesting name, but Lurzer's Archive is kind of the really, really big deal, especially in the photographic world. So Lurzer's Archive would be one of the top awards that I would go after. Jane Ritchie, one of our panelists today, has won in the Lurzer's Archive this last year, so I'm really proud of her. She is featured. This one, and now there's a cost to all of these. There's a cost to be in Lurzer's Archive. There's a cost for communication arts, for submitting images to awards and stuff. But I do feel like the gravitas of being in these awards and showcasing that, say you're in Lurzer's Archive or Com Arts or something like that, or One Island, it really does make a difference. Okay, so Lurzer's Archive has been known to be one of the most famous awards out there, and it's distributed to a lot of the big advertising agencies. So the big ad agencies, they go to this to see, some of the top photographers. Okay, so this is really, really top tier, and they've got We Love Fashion, the selection of images from the fashion category in our last 200 best ad photographers. So things like this, people pay attention to this. They really, really, really do. It's a really big deal. Okay. So Lurzer's Archive is one of the top ones. I definitely also highly recommend not only Lurzer's, but also getting involved with communication arts. Communication arts is another major award. I would say between those two, those are the biggest deal awards in the world. We also have some winners in communication arts this year. And communication arts, they have different categories, but photography, of course, is the one we're going to be entering. And the photography awards for communication arts are a really, really, really big deal. So I strongly recommend that you apply to a lot of these, because it really does make a difference. And you can also apply in different categories. So you don't have to just apply to editorial. You can also apply for advertising or personal work, etc. So there's different categories, and you'll see when we actually pull up all the wins, the different categories, and some of the same images won multiple times, but just in different categories. But communication arts is also a really, really important one and a really big deal. A lot of photographers that win in communication arts and Lurzer's Archive, for instance, end up going on to get booked to do big ad campaigns because people notice them. But it doesn't just stop there with winning in the awards, you also need to translate that and showcase that to your audience. It's great copy. It's great stuff to showcase to all of your best and ideal clients on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, et cetera, and direct email. We definitely want to get that in their face. That's super, super important. And I do recommend, those I would say are some of the top tier ones. One Island Awards is another one of the best ones. One Island Awards is amazing. And this is where, in addition to all these awards, we also won in the One Island Awards and absolutely crushed it this year. Like a level that I've never seen us ever do in the history of the Photography Workshop series. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how we did it. Okay. So all right. So these are some of the awards. Now, these are from photographers that have attended workshops with us in the last year. And these are from actual workshops. So they're not just images from photographers that attended. They're images from photographers that attended that actually shot these at our amazing elite production workshops. The reason that these things are so epic, that the productions are, that the images are winning, is that they're iconic. So that's the first true secret that I'm going to reveal, is that to win in the One Island Awards, you need iconic images, okay? Not just good images, not just great images. I want images that are iconic, that stand the test of time, okay? That's really important. And I want to make sure that your portfolio stands the test of time, that you have images that are truly iconic, like Enoch Chan here, that won number 3 out of the top 7, the top 10 photographers, fashion photographers in America in the One Island Awards. He won this from attending our masterclass in October, which is really exciting. And I'm super proud of Enoch for winning, because this is a really, really big deal. And Enoch's also attended, I believe, New York. He signed up for another upcoming workshop. He did a one-on-one with me this year. And Enoch is really serious about achieving greatness, not only photographically, but also in video production and creating iconic images just like this, which is unbelievable. Images like this was also shot at our Elite Masterclass. This is on another shoot day with Jane Ritchie, who is one of our panelists today. And what I love about images like this is the scale of the production. We're out in this incredible desert location. We have these ridiculous wardrobe pieces, unbelievable models, and it really is over the top. Okay, so I want to make sure that you're creating iconic images. That's absolutely critical, and that's the first thing. But what does an iconic image mean? Okay, remember, it means an image that stands the test of time, and an image that you can go back to and you're just like jaw-dropping. Oh my gosh, that's mind-blowing. This photographer's out of this world, and it should be front cover of portfolios. Like, for instance, if you go to my website, this would be an iconic image. This would be an image that I'm really proud of. That's probably one of the most iconic images. And you guys have probably seen this image before, but an image like this to me is truly iconic. It just stands the test of time. And even though I shot this a couple of years ago, it's still an image that is the cover of my body of work, because I feel like it's so powerful. It's so elite, so over the top. It's so wow, right? But it's what makes an iconic image, the top models. This is a supermodel that's been in vogue. It's the styling where you have top celebrity stylists. The stylist here is one of the top celebrity stylists in all of Hollywood, does all kinds of stuff for big time celebrities, and created this mind-blowing style. The production scale, we're looking at $100,000 a day production. Okay, this is a production that's out of this world. We shot at a water studio, a 30,000 square foot water studio with parachutes, and it was just out of this world, right? Absolutely insane. The hair and the makeup has to be world-class. And this is one of the things that I see, even in other people that apply for these awards, a lot of them that are not winning are ones where I'm noticing maybe the models are not at the same par. Maybe that the hair and the makeup is not quite there. Maybe they did the hair and makeup themselves, or the model did, but it's not that world-class hair and makeup. It's not that over-the-top storytelling, okay? That's really what it comes down to, making sure your images are iconic because it tells a story. It has world-class models, world-class production, world-class hair, makeup, wardrobe. And, and when I mean wardrobe, we're pulling, anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 in wardrobe per shoot for these productions. So the scale of the wardrobe, if you're not doing that on your own shoots, well, you need to start thinking about doing that, because either bring in a wardrobe stylist that, that costs about $2,000 a day. Plus you have to pay pull days and return days. And you also have to do wardrobe buys and returns and pull from showrooms, so it becomes challenging. But if you're not doing that already, definitely you've got to. It's absolutely key component to the success of your shoot is the styling. And this is one of the biggest pitfalls I see in other photographers that don't win, is they don't have the styling at this level. Styling is absolutely key, and you've got to invest in it. You've got to invest in every detail of the shoot, because if one little thing doesn't cut it, it's just not going to be there. The images are just not going to be on that same level. But as you can see here, number 4 fashion photographer in the country, Jane Ritchie, because an image like this, she shot the masterclass, which is absolutely outstanding. Okay. We go down to another one of our amazing photographers that is won. We've got the great Enoch Chan. Actually, he, here he is winning with this amazing shot with an owl in New York. We've got Jane Ritchie with actually, I think this is from, this is also in the top photographers, not just top fashion photographers in the US. We also, some of these photographers won in the top fashion photographers in the world as well. Jane Ritchie here again with this amazing production. And this is something where we shot with a Mad Max fashion story, and we shot with this incredible Mad Max vehicles out in the desert, and we had this incredible location. In fact, I shot the most recent DJI commercial there, but we have the scale of the production is out of this world, the art direction and also the storytelling. To me, this is straight out of a Mad Max story, right? And all those little details, they add together to make perfection. They come together to make award-winning photography. Okay, so on top of the telling the stories, the world-class models, the amazing styling, the production quality, also remember the retouching. And one of the things here, for instance, Jane's image here, I absolutely love the retouching in this, because the retouching, it just has this nice warm feel. A lot of this was straight out of camera, but it looks like there was just a little bit of a vignetting on the edge, very subtle retouching, but really, really well done, not over the top. So I want to definitely make sure that we don't go over the top of the retouching, but it stays pretty natural, especially in 2022. People are looking for that, and they're not too much, not overly, but just enough. And by the way, guys, I just put up a poll. Which photographic workshop would you be interested in attending? So if you guys are interested in winning awards, the clear path to do it is to attend one of these mind-blowing photographic experiences, just like you see here, just like you see Jane and John and Mike and all these amazing photographers. They've all attended multiple workshops. So if you are interested in any of these, indicate in the poll, which photographic workshop would you be interested in attending? From the Newport Beach Lifestyle Workshop we have coming up in 3 weeks, to the Las Vegas High Fashion Workshop, which is absolutely out of this world, and we won tons of awards from the Vegas Workshop, to the Miami Beach Lifestyle and Swimsuit Sports Illustrated Style Workshop, to the DC Lifestyle Workshop, Chicago on vintage fashion, the French Castle Experience at my castle in France, New York, which is like a high fashion editorial in New York, which you just saw there with the owl, and the Elite Masterclass in LA, as well as our new workshop we're rolling out in Sydney, Australia for 2023 as well. So if you guys are interested, please just let me know which one you guys would be interested in, and we definitely would love to see you win awards as well. This is another one from Evan Siegel. And Evan, I know you're on this webinar, and I am so proud of all of your wins. You've won, not only in the top 7 out of 10 photographers, but you're also, you won a whole bunch of other awards. A lot of our photographers did. They won tons and tons and tons of award-winning images, from finalists to bronze medal to silver, and then to top 7 out of 10, which is really, really, really spectacular. So super proud of you, Evan. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful and tells a story. Because that's what we're looking for, is in the expression, the energy, the movement. And it's not easy to do with one single model to tell that story. This is another one with the great John Wooten. Absolutely loved it. And, and it's interesting because, even though John attended a workshop with another photographer and submitted from the same workshop, they both won in the top 7 out of 10 fashion photographers of the year and they both attended the same workshop with a very similar image, and they both won, which is really cool. So they're not discerning on that. It doesn't really matter. They're just going based on your quality. which is really, really interesting. It's important to realize they're going based on the quality of the image, even if it was shot at a workshop, even if other photographers were there. It doesn't matter. There's still John, one. And to be honest, this image by John Wooten is one of my favorite male fashion images I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. I mean, this is straight out of GQ. In fact, I would highly recommend John leverage this to approach GQ and get editorials for GQ, because he'd be perfect for it. And with content like this is what they're looking for. This is an epic double page spread, tells a ton of story, has movement, great mood, amazing lighting. And I love the black and white treatment here, the wardrobe styling, the planes in the background. This is all just shot in one day of our Elite Masterclass. Pretty insane. And I am a proud mentor of all these incredible photographers. And this is the great Michael Weilet, shot this in Vegas. Unbelievable fashion photographer Mike is. He shoots fashion, he shoots swim photography. I mean, he's an absolute juggernaut, and I've worked with Mike now for years, and I'm so excited and proud of him. He's also joining us as a panelist today. But these are some of the strategies, guys, to win. Even Nick Seth Smith, who's joining us today, he also had won this, and this is top 7 out of 10 fashion photographers. I'm so proud of Nick, because this is one of the greatest fashion images I've ever seen in my lifetime. Okay. Not just female or male, but like overall top fashion image I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm so impressed with this image. I probably showcase this image more than almost anything else, because Nick is an absolute beast. And we worked together to create absolute magic, and came together with this unbelievable art direction. Nick had her splashing, kicking water into camera. He got a little wet, but he created this mind-blowing image that really is truly the definition of an iconic image. An absolute iconic image and I have to say, with anyone comparing, this is a truly iconic image. Honestly, if you showed this to Anna Wintour, at Vogue, or any major photo editor, they would agree. This is on another level of production, iconic, over the top. And I love the wardrobe. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. And by the way, guys, I'm just sharing the polls right now. Which photographic workshop would you like to attend? It looks like a pretty mixed bag. A lot of you guys are kind of all over the place of the different workshops you're interested in. I would say that the most popular, it looks like Newport Beach and the Masterclass, but all the rest have a lot of interest as well. Of course, those are absolutely epic. Newport Beach is all on slice of life lifestyle, advertising, world-class production. That one's been sold out for about 7 or 8 months now. We did have a photographer, due to some health challenges and stuff, had to transfer to another workshop, and a spot did just open up. We did have one final spot left in Newport that just opened up for the first time. So if you guys are interested in capturing that spot and shooting the greatest lifestyle images of your lifetime, that would be a great option. We are coming out with some mind-blowing stuff for Newport Beach this year, and I am making it absolutely magical. So let us know if that's something you guys are interested in. And also, I want you guys to think about, the value of being a winning photographer. Someone like Nick, who's a top 7 out of 10 fashion photographer in America. What does that value mean? That's a really big deal. You can put that under your name on emails. You can put it on your website. You can showcase that in your marketing content. It's really valuable, but it's only valuable if people know about it. That's why I am, standing from the top of the towers, talking about how great of a deal this is, how big of a deal this is, and how proud I am of my amazing photographers for achieving this kind of success. And you can see the quality of the images that are producing these wins. I mean, this really is on another level. Okay. And it's because they are all these winning images. They all have something in common. They're all totally iconic images that just wow and dazzle me and the audience, and it's not just, the images that, that we see on the top 7 out of 10. There's also other photographers, that are not even in the top 10, but also won awards in the bronze awards and silver awards and stuff like that. We have, I think, 9 photographers that won awards this year, which is really impressive. And then also photographers like Enoch Chan won all kinds of awards in all these different categories with different images. These are all wins. I mean, this is really incredible. So submitting a lot of images is also a huge advantage. I noticed that a lot of photographers that did win and did really well in the awards, they submitted a lot of images. Okay, so this was smart. He submitted a bunch of images, and it looks like, look at all these awards from all these silvers, bronze awards. I mean, tons and tons and tons and tons of awards. And these were all shot at the New York Workshop and the Elite Masterclass. And then also finalists. Even though this one for some reason didn't win the silver or gold, but to me, I mean, this is unbelievable. This is not Photoshop. This is straight out of camera. They're actually jumping like this. It's pretty incredible, So, and I love this. He actually, was a finalist in personal work. So really, really proud of our photographers and what they've been able to achieve, what the production level. You notice each and every one of these images that they submitted are on another level. And also what I'm noticing is like, hey, out of all these images, I think like that Enoch submitted, I believe they were all images shot at our workshops. Yeah, every single one of them was shot at our workshops. So, he's obviously super proud of what he's achieved. I mean, this is one of my absolute favorites of the entire year. This was shot in New York on the rooftops at overlooking all of New York with these world-class top fashion models. I mean, this is mind-blowing. So I'm really, really proud of our photographers, just like Enoch here, and everybody else that I mentioned. But what really sets us apart and makes these images win are the quality of the production, the top models, the styling, what went into it, and how iconic these images are. Because when you look at an image like this, you don't even need to put this in a story with everything else. This is an image that could stand on its own. You could even blow up a giant canvas print of this, and I would hang this in my house because it's that spectacular. And that's what you want the editors of magazines, the fashion editors to believe as well, the photo editors to believe. That's what you want the clients, the advertising clients, and also the consumer clients, wedding photographers, portrait photographers. You want your audience to just be like, oh my gosh, you're an award-winning photographer. I want to work with you. I want to book you. And I know, Enoch, for instance, does, Enoch and Kimmy, they do a lot of other photography, like they do, boudoir photography and personal branding and other things. And it works for that as well. It's really, really vital, totally vital. So in answer to some of your questions, I know Felinda Roy, you asked which awards mattered. So like I mentioned, the awards such as Lurzer's Archive, Communication Arts, those are, like, I would say probably top 2 in the world. And then after that, some of these other awards, like the Color Awards, that's another major one. We had the amazing photographer David Giesbrecht win in the Color Awards this year. We also had Jane Ritchie had won in the Lurzer's Archive. Also, obviously the One Island Awards. And then there's also the International Photo Awards. And there's a whole bunch of those different categories from different, there's like one for each, like, country. So there's like the MIFAs, the TIFAs, like basically the Tokyo International Photo Awards, Moscow International Photo Awards, etc. And those are important too. I mean, those are great. I really like the One Islands. There's also obviously awards for WPPI. There's awards for PPA, professional photographers. There's also awards for ASMP and APA, and those are all valuable as well. I do think that there are a place for all of those within those different categories, but I would say that certain ones are a little bit more prestigious, and I personally think I would say like Lurzer's, Communication Arts, One Island, those are, and Color Awards are probably some of the more prestigious awards. And then some of the other ones are also excellent too. But I mean, honestly, any awards are going to be great, and it's hard for your clients to even know and discern the difference. So I would just say, apply, get your best images. But the key is the images have to be iconic. They can't just be images of regular people. They can't be images, I wouldn't even recommend submitting images of your clients or pictures with your clients in it. You need professional models, top tier models. That's absolutely key. Adrian Ong asks, is WPPI awards good for portfolio? Yeah, I mean, they can be, as long as those as long as you are specifically going after wedding clients. WPPI is a major wedding expo for photographers, but it's also, and I've actually demonstrated, I was a speaker there for Pro Photo before, and I demonstrated, with live fashion models on the floor a few years back. But WPPI is great, but it's specifically for wedding photographers. So if that is your jam, but make sure that you're submitting images and winning awards with images with professional world-class models that are dressed as brides, not like your customers. Really, really important to discern the difference, because you're going to have a much better chance of winning and doing a lot better and using those images in the future if they are models. That's what I want desperately, is go after full scale, large productions. We want the real deal. Okay. Absolutely key and critical. Okay, guys. So, and if you guys haven't responded to the poll yet, I'd absolutely love for you to. How likely to enroll in a photographic workshop? This is just something that, it's totally fine if you want to just come on and join us and learn all the amazing stuff that we talk about how to win awards and some of the secrets to it. But I also recommend that, you guys take it to the next level and create the greatest images of your lifetime, which every single one of the photographers that attended this last year shot the greatest images of their lifetime at these photographic workshops. And they obviously took it to the next level because they're winning all these awards. It's the proof is right in front of you. And I'm super, super proud of it. It's pretty incredible to see, what people are achieving, from shooting campaigns for Dolce & Gabbana to Vogue, to, winning in like the color awards, like David Giesbrecht. That's a really big deal, and these are, by the way, from the Chicago workshop. It really does make a difference in your career and creating mind-blowing images that sets you apart from everybody else. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, so all right, I want to bring on without further ado, I know Nick Seth Smith. I'd love for you to join me first, because I know you wanted to jump on and be my very first panelist. So Nick, I'd love for you to jump on, and I'd love to hear from you, because we have some. We just talked about how obviously incredible your images were. But I want to talk about essentially, what that means to you, Nick. And let's go ahead and get you actually jumping on. So Nick, you want to make sure you are ready to go with your video, and then we can get you moving as talking about your incredible images. So okay. All right, so hold on. Nick is saying that he needs to be added again. Okay, great. So, all right. So Nick, because Nick, you worked with me on multiple workshops. You came to the New York Fashion Workshop. You came to the Elite Masterclass. You worked with me on multiple occasions throughout the country and created just some unbelievable content that I'm really proud of you for creating. I'm really honored to have you on, because you're such a talented photographer. You've created some incredible work. And I want to know, I guess, Nick, why don't you tell me about kind of the process when you were selecting images to submit and win these awards, and what were able, how you were able to win to be in the top 10 fashion photographer of the year award, and what that meant to you and kind of how you won that. So, so Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because I'm super proud of what you've been able to achieve, and it's really cool to see you, take it to the next level. Because when I met you, it was like in night and day, the images you shot before the workshops to what you created at the workshops and afterwards.
Well, thank you, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here. Looks like my order is working now. Yeah, so when I went through the images, I was basically looking for, the number one thing was impact. And as you said, all of the shots that I picked, and particularly, actually, I've got the wrong background up, but I'll switch to the water shot in a minute. But yeah, it was really just, what's the image that's going to tell the story the fastest and make the biggest impact on the judges. Because ultimately that's what it will also do for clients. And so it's really just, it's about storytelling. Going particularly to the shot in there she is, the one you just highlighted. That one, I mean, we were having a lot of fun there, but the key thing that I did was basically say, look, just get me wet. I mean, I got the camera right down at water level, and I said, don't care about the camera. We spend a lot of money to make sure we have waterproof cameras, but it was the only way to really show the show the story and just make things come to life. And she did exactly what I asked her to do. So a lot of drying the camera afterwards, but it worked well. It was worth every moment. And that was true, I think, for all of the images. It was just, what did it take to tell something that's different, that's going to, create impact, get people to look twice and say, okay, that's something I want to see again.
Absolutely. So I noticed, the images you selected, and you had the majority of them were all from the Photography Workshop series. I think there are these two images, or the same image, won a couple awards, and it was pretty dramatic, but that was outside of the workshop, but it was really interesting image. But all the rest of these are from the Photography Workshop series that won, like this one as well, which is really exciting. What made you decide on choosing all of these? Because of all the, hundreds of thousands of images you probably shot in your life, what made you choose the images from the Photography Workshop series to apply to actually go after and win these awards?
I think the big thing, and I know most of them actually came from that, the shoot in Wooten Pieces. It's an over-the-top shoot with over-the-top costumes, as you said, over-the-top production, and they're all of them. They have cleanliness and simplicity and impact at the same time. And I think that's one of the biggest changes that I've found in my photography, a lot of which has come from the work that I've done with you guys, is simplicity. Really busy images tend to be just that. Whereas if you can get something that's clean and impactful, it just tells a much stronger story. And I also like to get emotion. So this one in particular, we had a quiet word with the model, and really just said, look, just hide in yourself. I want you to disappear. I don't want you to be here. I want you to be somewhere quiet and special. And she delivered, and she just disappeared into herself and produced this beautiful sort of soft, gentle image of just someone at peace in this amazing dress. And there's more cloth there than you can shake a stick at, but that was half of the beauty of it. So it was really fun. I mean, the fashion is definitely a big help. Obviously, we're starting with incredible costumes from two amazing designers, but it's really. The only word I can think for it is storytelling. It's just something that immediately you look at it and you can picture what's going on. You can hear a story. You can hear a narrative, and that is great for the image. But it's also great for a client. If you've got a client who's trying to sell a product, then if the image can tell a narrative in your mind, then it stays in your mind. It becomes memorable, and that ultimately is what will then sell. So that was really my focus.
Absolutely. So, I noticed that you still specifically select these images from the workshop. So do you feel like these are the most iconic images that you created in your career?
Yeah, I mean, certainly in this genre, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we didn't shoot landscapes at the workshop, but for anything that has to do with fashion and frankly even portraits, yes, these were definitely out there.
Definitely.
And so those were the ones I picked. The only one that was in addition to that was the Fireblade shot, which is kind of a little epic and over the top.
It is, but it's iconic though, because it stands out, right?
Yep.
That's what we're looking for. But yeah, I mean, there's a sense of feeling, emotion here. Normally we see these fashion models standing powerfully, looking giant, Amazons kind of, strutting and looking all powerful. And this is kind of this wonderful little moment where you had her kneeling, or crouching, I should say, and with this giant, like you said, this huge dress that was like 20 feet long, pulled out, and then you see the beauty of the water behind her. So there's all the aesthetic elements, but what I really love here, Nick, is you also, in addition to the aesthetic elements with the incredible wardrobe, the incredible model, great hair and makeup, mind-blowing background, everything, you also tell a story that's kind of soft and quiet. And you mentioned the emotion in it. And those are the true moments that create award-winning images, those moments of emotion. And I think so many photographers miss that, and they just focus on the aesthetic, but you're creating stuff with emotion and impact that is on another level. And that's what I'm really, really proud to see, because it's you see it time and time again throughout these images that you created at the workshops. And still, I mean, they're the greatest images I've ever seen you shoot, with people in it. It is just on another planet as far as quality and production. So let me tell me, well, first of all, I want you to share, and I know you've mentioned this in the past, but what was the impact of an image like at the water studio? Yeah, like the one that's behind you, right? What was the impact on your career with that image? How did that affect you? Were you able to book more jobs? Were you to make more money on that image?
Well, in particular, I think you're referring to Adam and Anna. I landed the biggest client of my life, who continued to be an amazing client. We shot an epic wedding for 3 people in Beverly Hills in December of 2020, right in the middle of COVID. And that was entirely based on the work that I did here and the connections that I made through the workshop. But then we just wrapped up a 4-day shoot in Las Vegas with them last month for their reception for 200 of their closest friends. And it was on their reception was on the same sort of epic scale that these shoots were. So it was, we were well so done. It was just fabulous. It's an incredible
so those
event.
clients alone that this image landed, I mean, was that like $40,000 in billings?
At the moment, it was running at about a little over 40,000. Yes, and we're not done yet.
Wow, that is so impressive, Nick. And so what you did is you translated iconic image into financial reward.
Into dollars, yeah.
And on top of that, Nick, what I want to just point out is that not only did that image that you shot at the masterclass create that amount of revenue, so you got your return on investment 4-fold, but you also it won awards. Yep. So now that you're winning awards with this, you need to show this. You need to stand out there and just basically showcase this on all your social platforms, all your marketing material, all your potential clients, and make sure that everyone knows that you're winning these awards, that you are, and that you are a top 10 fashion photographer of the year award. That's a really big deal. I know that really helped Adam Friedman when he won #1 fashion photographer of the year a couple years ago. It allowed him to share that with people. Hey, I won top, so if you're top 10 fashion photographer of the year award, that's a really big deal, because you know what, Nick, do you think that a wedding client, high tier wedding client, would just want to shoot with any boring wedding photographer? Or would they rather go with a world-class fashion photographer that just happens to shoot weddings?
Well, and I think that was a lot of the strength of what I got as I landed that client was on the level of the work that I was able to show on my website, and then what I was able to deliver for them. Unfortunately, I'm contractually bound not to show that. So when you have enough money to afford that type of a shoot, you also have enough money to ask people not to show your work.
Yeah, and that's totally fine, because you know what? I mean, if you're shooting regular clients anyways, I probably wouldn't show that in your portfolio, no matter how big the production is. You want to show the stuff with the world-class top models, and just like this. So that's smart. But I'm super proud of you, Nick, and the images you've created are absolutely astounding. And you've translated that to success. And I'm proud of you for that, because that's what this leads to. Award, and you actually got that success before you won the award. Just imagine now that you won the award, what that can do going forward.
Yep. No, absolutely.
And I would even put that in the bottom of your emails, like, top 10 fashion photographer of the year, One Island Awards 2021. Put that in the bottom under your signature.
Right.
It's important for people to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, excellent. Well, thank you so much, Nick. And
thank you, Kevin.
I appreciate you coming on, and it's just incredible to see a success story like this. And I'm really proud of you and everything you have to come. And I can't wait to see you again.
Well, I'm always looking forward to the next one. Got to focus on revenue first, but definitely we'll be back soon. And
you did. You achieved the revenue earnings. Yep. You achieved all this great success. The ROI is there, and that's what I'm really proud of. And it shows like a direct translation to creating great images, enrolling a workshop, and then creating financial reward off of that. And also, by the way, everyone, if you guys are interested in creating great portfolios like Nick just showed, in fact, pull that up again. Nick has he actually is a portfolio.
Let me see if I can turn my background off so you can see it. Excuse the math. We just moved house, so I'll start it.
So he creates. I mean, that's a beautiful printed on. You printed that on metal, I believe. Yeah, and
it was metal, and then the prints are paper prints. But
Nick is a professional printer as well as a photographer, and he actually makes a lot of the prints from the workshop series photographers that attend, and these are unbelievable. Like that in New York, unbelievable. Yes. So, I mean, this is incredible. So, so if you guys are interested in developing portfolios, we can get you guys in touch with Nick, and he can make your amazing portfolio happen. In fact, I need to have one made by you as well. That's on my to-do list, Nick, this year. Because
look forward to it.
One. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Nick. It was great to have you on, and I can't wait to see you again at the next one. All right, guys.
Looking forward
So
to it.
again, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the Q&A so that we can answer them. Also, if you guys could also respond to the poll, because the production level of what we just saw with Nick, it was pretty clear that the scale of the production really made a difference. Now, the investment of that to basically put on a production like that, it is about $100,000 a day production. So we have 5-day experiences, and they are about a $500,000 level of experience over the course of a 5-day production. And so the beauty of it, and why a lot of photographers like Nick and like Jane and a lot of these other photographers that jump on and attend these workshops, is because they want that value and that production value of a $500,000 production, and only pay a tiny fraction of the amount to invest in themselves to develop a world-class portfolio over the course of 5 days and creating the greatest images they've ever shot in their life that win awards and that translate to financial success. So, so if you guys please answer in the poll, what is your budget for developing your photographic portfolio? Now, I personally, between what I develop for my portfolios, for my marketing, as well as myself attending workshops, I spend about between $80,000 and $100,000 a year personally. And I've already this year already, I've already spent about $20,000 to $25,000 just in the last 3-4 weeks, just in investing in myself and in my businesses. And I do recommend that because everything is scalable. The more you invest in yourself, the more you invest in your career, the better off you can be, the more achievements you can make, and the more you can earn and be successful as a world-class photographer, and also winning awards and translating that into success. So, all right, now I'd love to bring on my next panelist. I have the great Mike Wylett, who's on, and also Jane Ritchie. And I believe Devin Mickens. Now, Devin, I would love for you to jump on next because you attended the New York experience with us and created some amazing images, and also won in the One Island Awards, which I'm really, really proud of you about that, Devin. That's incredible. And I wanted to share one more kind of secret about, really critical components, which sounds, probably straightforward. But one of the things that you guys also need to make sure of is to be aware of all the awards, and also be aware of when the deadlines are for those awards. And so many photographers I talk to are like, they spend so much time preparing their images, but then they don't get them in on time, and then they miss the deadline, they miss the award. So make sure to track the deadlines. I would actually subscribe to a lot of the newsletters: Lurser's Archive, Communication Arts, One Island Awards, Color Awards, International Photo Awards. All these awards newsletters, they can be really valuable because then you get notified when the deadlines are, what the categories are. And when they have those awards coming up, make sure to submit early, because oftentimes you can also get a big discount on applying for those awards. So very, very valuable. Anyway, so Devin, now you attended and worked with me in New York, and I'm really, really excited about what you were able to create. And this was your first workshop ever. And you, not only created the greatest images you've ever shot in your life, Devin, but you also won in, I believe you were world's top fashion. Yeah, you were actually in the world's top fashion photographer, not just in the US, but the world's top fashion photographer, the top 10 fashion photographers in the world. And you were up there. So Devin, can you talk to me about this shoot and why you feel like this shoot won in the awards, and how this put you on top as in the top 10 fashion photographers in the world?
So what I was thinking about when I was comparing my images to everyone else, I think it was the storytelling behind this image. I labeled it Top of the World because I felt like we were on top of the world with this image. She looked confident. It just felt like we was on top of the world. And while I was taking this image, that's the emotion that everyone evolved. That's kind of what we portrayed and kind of what we felt as we were shooting this image.
Absolutely. It does feel like it's on top of the world. And it literally was, because we're on top of this amazing, skyscraper in New York with this unbelievable skyline. And I've shot in a lot of rooftops. This is honestly one of the best rooftops I've ever had the opportunity to shoot on. And I can't believe I was able to hook that up for you photographers, because normally the rooftops have, they're cool, but they don't have the best backgrounds, or they have weird railings, or they have a limited view. This is a full 360-degree view, and you can see the entirety of Midtown Manhattan here, which is absolutely spectacular. So Devin, how do you feel now that you've won top 10 fashion photographer in the world? You're in the top 10. How does that feel?
Feels great. I remember one of the questions you asked me at the workshop is, do you feel like you have an image? You asked me, what do you want out of the workshop? And I said, I want an image that when someone sees it, they'll stop in amazement. And I felt like I got one, because you asked me, he was like, do you have one of those yet? I said, not yet. And now I felt like I got one. So now it kind of makes me want more. It's addictive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You kind of want to keep piling those images up.
Absolutely want to keep piling them up, because, this is a big deal, and this is the start of it. And Devin, I know you were kind of new to all this, and you came to this workshop and like you shot images that are like drop the mic kind of level of quality, where it's just like on another planet. I mean, look at this. I mean, this girl looks like this girl's 12 feet tall. and it was interesting, the way we art directed this was, not only were we on this rooftop and it was kind of the middle of the day, brutal light, and a lot of photographers are kind of scared to shoot in the middle of the day when that brutal, 1 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever, the brutal light of the day. And what we were able to do is put her on top of a table. So we had the fashion model table dancing. We had her on top of a table. We had this massive, huge dress, which my wardrobe stylist Dash was just absolutely astounding. And we brought this whole dress over the table. And then on top of that, put like a black tablecloth, or it was like a navy blue tablecloth underneath that goes down. So it made the dress look ongoing. And it looks like you basically in Photoshop translated the bottom black part into the dress itself, which you did a really good job. It looks fantastic. But that was the intention, to create this feel that the girl was like 12 feet tall, and it just is over the top. And also conceptually, not just aesthetically, but conceptually, she is on top of the world. Like she is, figuratively and literally, and you can see how tall it makes her. And I can see why you are in the top 10 fashion photographers in the world. So unbelievable, Devin. How do you feel like the level of production at the workshop was able to translate to such an iconic image?
The model, the fashion, everything came together to have a cohesive message. I feel like it was beyond my expectations when it comes to production. One of the biggest productions I've ever seen. So it was great. It was a great experience to see how everyone worked together. It's a team effort. Everybody came together. So it wasn't just me with this image. This is a group effort right here. Everyone came together, from the model, the stylist, the location, from you art directing. It was a great team effort for sure.
Absolutely. It was a great team effort. The production level was there. And that's what kind of like allows Devin just to walk in with his great photography skills and capture. And this is one of the great things, Devin, that I love about having you at the workshops, is that you were already a world-class photographer. People just didn't know it yet.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? And I would say the vast majority of photographers that attend, I mean, I have all levels. I have photographers that are beginners. I have photographers that are that have shot 8 covers of Vogue. They come to our workshops. I have photographers that have shot for Rolling Stone, and I have photographers that are making $200 shooting a baby in portraits. I have photographers of age 16 all the way to 86 attending these workshops. So I have all ages, all different walks of life, all different demographics, everything. But I tell you one thing, the vast majority of our photographers are extremely talented, just like you, Devin. And all they're waiting for is the opportunity to shoot greatness, to shoot award-winning images, just like we saw with Nick Seth Smith, and just like you, just like all these other photographers. You have the skills, but what you didn't have is the access to the production, right? And this is where the rubber meets the road, is access to the production. And that's why it's so awesome for you to join us, because I handle the production. That's my expertise. the art direction, the production, handling all the details. We put that level of production in front of you, you create, and you get to photograph the greatest pictures of your life. So, so Devin, how are you going to translate this image and being top 10 fashion photographer in the world, which, by the way, you got to put in your signature of all your emails and stuff. How are you going to translate that to success in photography?
So ever since I won the award, I've been putting it on all of my platforms, my website, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my Instagram, and the couple of photo shoots that I had this weekend just from the award on Thursday. So everyone's like, so you mean to tell me I'm working with one of the top fashion photographers in the world? I want to say yes. So just getting it out there and then eventually bringing the price up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just letting everyone know that I'm capable of doing the work. Like you said, I always believed in myself. I just didn't have access to the production or didn't even know where to start. And coming to the workshop, you gave me access to this type of production, but then you also taught us how to do this on our own. How to reach out to people, how to continue the success and not just have it at your workshop, but how to move forward. You also have the resources to reach out prior with Dan, to yourself. I feel like I always have someone to come to if I have any question about doing a production in the future. So that's the key, just having someone to be able to talk to walk some ideas out in your mind and just move forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're always in your corner. And you know what, guys? We are dedicated to our photographers. We've been doing this for 13 years. I've directed about 140 elite photographic workshops all over the world. And we're here and we work with the photographers before the workshop, like we just talked about, Devin, during the workshop in person to create images like this. And then after the workshop to make sure that we select the best of the best of the best images, because image selection is key, especially for winning award images. And then also, guiding you on the retouching, guiding you on where it needs to be for that final submitted image to win awards, to get published, et cetera. So, we stick with you. And that's why, we actually happen to have a 95% re-enrollment rate in the workshop series, because we've been doing this for a long time and we are dedicated to our photographers. And then our photographers see this kind of success. So, I've never seen this much success. This is the most insane I've ever seen, 107 awards. That's just in the One Island Awards. Plus we've won in the Color Awards, Lurzer's Archive, Communication Arts, International Photo Awards, all these other awards as well. But I specifically was going to talk about this because I think this is the greatest achievement that we've done. And I am so, so proud of you, Devin, and what you've been able to achieve, because this is a unbelievable image. And I hope this stays on the front cover of your website. And I would even include, the award stuff, the stuff at the bottom that showcases how you're, world's top fashion photographer.
Thank you.
I even put that on your website because that's a really big deal to showcase that, because when people see that, they come to your website, it's wow, and dazzled by that success. And also I recommend you submit this for big time magazine editorial submissions and get this published as well, in addition to publish in One Island, because One Island also submits a publication as well.
Will do.
Super proud of you, Devin. Let's translate this to, raising your prices, increasing revenue, increasing high ticket clients, just like Nick did.
Will do. I appreciate your time.
Excellent. Thanks, Devin. So good to have you on, man. And I can't wait to achieve greatness this year. Just promise you, 2022, it's going to be the best year yet in photography. I guarantee it. This is it. This is absolutely it. So thanks so much, Devin. I appreciate you jumping on. Guys, and I want to actually share some stories with you too. So in addition to all of this, I mean, I'm a celebrity fashion photographer, and I don't just educate photographers. I don't just am there to direct these workshops and stuff. I also shoot huge ad campaigns, fashion campaigns, big magazine editorials, and I'm doing this and shooting commercials. And this is stuff that I'm doing all the time. I translate all of the momentum in the process that I'm doing to landing more opportunities. And that's why I want our photographers to translate all of these wins into more success, because that's what these awards are for, right? Every time you get published, every time you win an award, every time you shoot for a campaign, translate that, make sure that gets out there and you market the fact that you've won these awards to all of your decision makers. Don't be modest, just go out there and tell them. Right now I'll, reveal, guys, and I can't reveal all the details of the client yet, but I am shooting a $200,000 campaign for a fashion client. It's not even in New York or LA. It's actually in Virginia. And not only am I shooting a $200,000 campaign that I'm directing and executive producing, but I'm also handling their entire media buy, which is something that I do talk about at the workshops and during our business virtual workshops, how I achieve a larger scale, larger piece of the pie. And right now we're negotiating between a $700,000 and a $1.5 million media buy. So it's going to fall within that realm. And essentially I am working with that client to essentially get them to have us not only shoot their campaign, but handle the media buy. And that's very, very important because if you can do that, you can end up making a lot more money as a photographer or as a director. So, for instance, I'm charging on top of that $200,000 for the production budget, which I'm shooting coming up in a month. But I'm also getting a piece of the usage. So I'm charging a 15% usage on the media buy. So that'd be 15% of 1.5 million. I'm also charging them a 10% to do the media buy. Basically, that's me contacting the media companies that would place it. So if it's a photograph, it's going to be going on a billboard. If it's the video, which in this case, it's going to be video, it's going to be placed on Lifetime, Bravo, BET, Gala Network, which is a Hispanic network. And we're going to be placing it on these major networks. And then I'm essentially getting in addition to that, 15% on the back end. So I'm taking a 40% of that $1.5 million budget on top of the $200,000 production. And that's something that I can show with you at some upcoming workshops in person, because this is something that I do all the time. This is the kind of jam that I do. I think big, I scale big, and I only work with clients at that high ticket number, and I can help you guys get there too. But it's fashion stuff, just like you see here, but it's for this one specific fashion brand, and they want me to do it quarterly. So I want you to land those opportunities and create not only the photographic campaign, but also create that unbelievable video reel that we shoot during the workshop to create that mind-blowing content, which, we have video reels that we're shooting at all the workshops to create just astounding content and create this stuff that is just over the top and allows you guys to create the greatest images and video content that you've ever shot in your lifetime. All right, so I do want to bring in some last panelists here. I've got the great Mike Weilet. Mike has come to many workshops over the years. Mike is an absolute superstar photographer. He shot some of the most mind-blowing images we've done over the years at the Photography Workshop Series. I'm really honored to have you on, Mike, because you are a world-class photographer. And I'm also really proud of what you've been able to achieve with shooting these incredible images with our top models. You've done workshops with me all over the country, but you've done Miami. I think you've done New York, Masterclass, Vegas. You've created these mind-blowing images that have made you a national brand as a photographer. And now you're winning in, the top 10 fashion photographers in America. So great to see you, Mike.
Great to see you.
And Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about the process with, why you feel like the images you submitted to the One Island Awards won you, like this image specifically, won you top number 7 out of the top 10 fashion photographers in America. What about that image do you feel was able to get you to win that award?
Well, I went through the images from the workshop and tried to find the most iconic images to tell a story and, through beauty and empowering women. So a lot of my photographs, I want to show the beauty of the fashion and also tell the story around the fashion.
Excellent. Well, I love the female empowerment thing because that's really, really big right now. That's what clients are looking for. But I feel like these images, it's more than just female empowerment. There's an iconic aspect to this. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like what makes an image, your images that won, what makes them iconic?
Well, being iconic to me is looking at a photograph and being able to look at it over and over and over again. And then not just looking at it like you're flipping through the Instagram, like it'll stop you and make you want to look at it over and over again. Elements in the photograph will do that, whether it's color, the dress, the horse, the location. it all comes together and makes a great image.
Definitely. Yeah. And you put it all together and you created magic. Of all the scenes and all the images and the amazing productions you've done with me, was there a certain favorite that just totally like rocked your world?
Yeah. The dress we shot with Valena at Weese's Pieces, the last the rose colored dress.
Yes.
That was an iconic.
That was
when
it.
I saw that come out at the end of the day, I was like, this is it.
Yeah, I love it. And so what Mike's doing is he's basically creating a collection of iconic images, not just one,
Right.
not just two, but he's got a whole collection of iconic images that stand apart from everybody else. And he's winning awards, which is really, really fantastic. And placed him in as number 7 Fashion Photographer of the Year award. So that's a huge honor. Mike, and I want to make sure that you can, showcase that to your audience. Make sure that they know you are a top 10 fashion photographer in America, because that's something that's a really, really big deal. And
Definitely.
everyone should be, you should be shouting from the rooftops.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, with the production value, I think, your workshops are incredible. I realized that, I guess 3 or 4 years ago, that I wanted to do more fashion, and I saw the value in the production of, going to these workshops and getting iconic images for my portfolio, and then do a relaunch and stuff like that, and go after a high-end work that I want to go after.
Absolutely. And you did. You've definitely gone out, you've created really high-end content that's, basically, sets you apart from, from other photographers, and, stuff like this. I mean, where we shot with this unbelievable set with like scaffolding that we built in the middle of a cracked earth desert, which was absolutely insane. And we shot this whole like ballet sequence. It was unbelievable. And I remember, you were a big part of this. You were a big part of the design and the creation of content like this, throughout. And what we did with you and I worked together at the masterclass to create these amazing concepts, with stories being told, and, having multiple models and creating these super dynamic stories. We came together to create and design the creative around that. And really, really impressed with you, Mike. So do you have any, strategies or tips out there for photographers of what they need to do to be able to achieve iconic images?
It basically, with fashion photography, I think it's building a great team around you, whether it's, the great stylist, great makeup artist, got to have a world-class model, great wardrobe, and a great location, and a great art director like you.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah. And you know what, Mike, that's what a lot of photographers do say, is like, they bring me on, they come to the workshops just because they need an art director. They want that art director. And that is my special sauce. I'll be honest, it's art direction and directing of talent and producing and putting it all together. That's what we are, here for, to make all of that magic happen. And you know what, when Mike, you're such a talented photographer, you can come to the table and create magic, and then just, knock it out of the park and just create iconic images that put you in the top 10 Fashion Photographers of the Year award.
Yeah. Especially with the Mad Max scene. You created that and made like 3 years of what was in my head come out. We collaborated on putting that shoot together, and I think that was like an iconic thing that, it's probably been done before, but not on the level that we did it, with the fashion and the great costuming and the car and all that stuff, and the great location.
100%. Absolutely. The production level and putting it all together to make that magic happen, so that it's easy for you, Mike, just to walk on set, We've got everything done for you. You've got the amazing models, the production, the lighting, this huge set. This one that we're looking at right here, we had like 5 production vehicles. We had 2 30-foot RVs. We had U-Haul trucks. We had, these production vans with lighting equipment and things. And we built a set. We brought in animals like, these dappled horses. We brought in rearing horses. We brought in camels. We brought in a $50,000 exotic owl. We had all these amazing bells and whistles to create this just magic. And all these little things, all these little details, they add up and they become iconic. It's not just a girl standing in the desert with, this bronze colored dress. Right. When you add that bronze colored horse, that's really magical. Honestly, that horse looks like this magical, mystical beast, and have her holding it. And the horse is even posing. And then the dress is matching the horse. The expression is there. The energy is there. I mean, I just feel it. And it has this beautiful monochromatic feel to it that totally sets it apart from other fashion photography. So I'm really impressed at you, Mike. And I can't wait to see what you're going to achieve. I know you just signed up for 3 more workshops that you're going to be coming to this year. And I'm really excited to maximize and create mind-blowing content. And you and I are going to work together on the creative direction to develop the stories, just like we did at the masterclass.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Can't wait.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Mike. I can't wait to work with you. And this is the thing, we work personally, right? It's you and I. Yes. We get together. We actually put our minds together. You come up with these great creative ideas because you're a creative genius. And then you're like, hey, Kevin, here are my ideas. Here are the creative brief concepts. And then I translate those creative concepts into reality.
Yeah, you make it happen.
I do. I do it for you. That's what this is all about. Well, thanks so much for joining me, Mike. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to make more magic with you, man.
Yeah, can't wait to see you in Vegas.
Absolutely. Take care.
All right. See you.
All right, guys. Yeah, and I mean, as you can see, these are incredible success stories with what we've been able to accomplish, and we you can hear from these great photographers about essentially what has worked for them, what has made them winning top 10 fashion photographer of the year, and honestly, they keep saying it's about the production. It's about telling stories. It's about creating content and having access to that level of production, which obviously is a big challenge. It's kind of that chicken or the egg thing. If you don't have access to top models from Vogue, how are you going to get access to top models from Vogue? If you don't have access to world-class production and you don't have access to massive scale sets and $100,000 of lighting equipment and $500,000 shoots, it's really hard to lay on those $500,000 shoots if you don't have access to it. But if you have access to it, if you can get access to art direction at this high level, of casting at that high level with top models and unbelievable animals and all these incredible props and stuff like that, you can achieve greatness and win awards. And you can do it on your own for sure, but definitely, as you can see, joining us really makes a difference to take you guys to the next level. And that's what we're here for. We're here to guide you, to help you, and to take it up a notch. All right. So and the last panel I wanted to bring on is a great Daniel Rothschild, who I've been working with now for a couple of years. And he's the guy that actually worked with Mike to make that magic happen. Dan, you were able to work with actually all 3 of our panelists and help guide them and work with them to make sure that they achieve their personal successes. And it's you that helped them literally become top 10 fashion photographer in America. So you should be a proud papa there because it's you and your guidance, your mentorship that's helped. Can you tell us a little bit about why winning awards for these photographers is going to make a difference in their confidence, in their career, financially, how it's going to improve their situation? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely, Kevin. Well, first of all, Josh, I feel really humbled by your comments, and I just love working with these great photographers. They're just fantastic, each and every one. I'll make it simple. The awards are really important, and you mentioned it earlier, if they're used. Now, even if they're not, you have notoriety immediately, even if you don't use it. But the awards are instant credibility for you to use for your marketing of yourself. So you can't just run around and say, "Hey, I'm great." the third party, which is highly esteemed and recognized, the One Island Award as the example, and many of the others, it's an instant credibility that that think about it. Now you have proof that you are as great as you are, and people can know it's just not you saying that. So it's really powerful. These awards are. It's also a tool for your client to utilize to choose you due to your accomplished notoriety and recognized great work. The other thing is that you're branding your name powerfully to thousands and thousands with your images, and many go to this site and they look for many companies and art directors and creative directors. They're looking for the photographer to hire. So, and if you think about it, okay, you achieve these incredible photos as the example from the workshops, and then you submit them. That it's not rocket science to the organization, and then it creates this really powerful marketing tool for you that like Nick and Mike and Devin and all are they're putting it on their signatures, their email signatures. So whenever they send something, there it is. So it's powerful marketing. Marketing is getting recognized and then getting the results from the recognition. So it's pretty simple stuff.
Absolutely. And we can see the proof is in the pudding right here, Dan. I mean, I know, we do all these awesome webinars. We've directed like 40 of these elite webinars on all different topics of photography, from producing shoots to shooting fashion photography, shooting lifestyle photography, to winning awards, to, getting represented by agents, all different amazing topics. But it's really cool to show the social proof of award-winning photographers. And I can't even believe, 107 awards from the Photography Workshop series. I never thought that would even be possible. And you know what? A lot of it, I give that credit to you, because Dan, it was you. Most of these winners were both you and Priscilla have been coaching these photographers and guiding them to not only shoot the greatest images of their lifetime, but also to submit them for magazine publications, for winning awards. And they're winning awards. They're achieving success. They're winning and they're having all this greatness. And Dan, you must be really proud, because it's you that gives that mentorship and guidance, because you are a professional photographic consultant that's world-class. And you know what, guys, if any of you want to set up a one-on-one strategy session with any of our photographic consultants, we have amazing world-class photographic consultants that are true professionals, and they can guide you and help you. No strings attached. You don't have to enroll in a workshop if you don't want to. That's totally fine. But if you want to help guiding yourself going forward, and you want some, mentorship and guidance, and if and even if you're interested in attending one of our workshops in person, one of our 5-day experiences, or one of our virtual workshops where we have like 5 and 6 hour intensives about different topics of retouching or marketing or closing the deal, booking more clients, or all aspects of photographic branding, we have those as well. So if you want, anything, we are here to guide you, help you. And Dan, what do you think is the most important thing now? It's 2022, and our photographer, the industry is crushing it. A lot of our photographers are being really successful. They're getting booked solid. They're winning awards. They're making money. They're getting booked on jobs. I'm getting booked on jobs. What do you think is the next step for photographers this year? What should they be doing right now?
I believe there's some real basic key steps. One is you have to have the want for success and not fear it. Even if it takes whatever length of time to get there, you have to want it. And that's the first molecular movement to making it happen. The second thing is you have to look at, well, okay, what am I doing here? I'm not just a photographer. I'm running a photographic business. Mm-hmm. It has to be looked at as a business. I don't care what anyone tells you, but that's my belief on it. That photography is just what you are and what you do, what you sell. And then you have to have that photography to present, to market yourself, which is the portfolio. If you look at these photos you're showing here, every single one of them, I could sit and just drop my jaw and stare at them because I'm blown away. They're iconic. You've mentioned it a million times. It's so true. Marketing is about capturing the attention more than all the other 1,000 photographers that are sending their stuff to that person that you're wanting to get hired by. These stop the art directors in their tracks and they go, who is this? So, they're simple. It really isn't. I use it, it's kind of obnoxious. I always say it's not rocket science. You just have to follow a already proven format of whatever business you're in. In this case, it's photography. So this is the selling tool. And this gets the attention over everybody else and takes you to another level, allowing you to charge more, be paid more, get branded, get awards, all of that. So that's it. And I love helping all photographers. My motto is I'll help you as much as you'll allow me to. I can't make you want it, but I can show you how to get there, what you do want. And so do you, Kevin, and so does Priscilla and the whole team. Just the same way, we love helping people.
We do. And that's something that I'm always so impressed at you, Dan, as you are. It's so incredible with helping and guiding. You spend so much time with your photographers before the workshops, during the workshops, and after the workshops to make sure that they're achieving success. And look at all the success they're achieving now. It's really, really impressive. And I know 2022 is going to be just blowout, crazy, wild, year of success. That's what it's here for. So guys, make sure to also sign up for one of these free photographic consults for 2022, developing, your photographic brand. If you want to develop your business, you want some strategies on how to win awards, and even curate images and go over images and stuff. You can go ahead and just click on that link in the chat. And I strongly recommend you go on and jump on with one of our photographic consultants. They will help you, no strings attached, but they will guide you and help you and work with you and mentor you and help guide you for that success, because we want you winning awards as well. And we want you as a part of our team. All right, guys, it was such a pleasure. And I am here to guide you guys to become the best version of yourself and the best version of your photographic career. So remember, winning awards, you've got to create that iconic image. If the image is not world-class and iconic, it's not even worth submitting. It's got to have world-class top talent. I mean, top models and supermodels or celebrities in it. You've got to have world-class production, top hair, makeup, wardrobe, production, location, all details, props, even if it includes animals, whatever. Got to make sure that the production is A-list, just top-notch. Expressions in models' faces, storytelling, having all facets of the creative and conceptual facets of it, in addition to the aesthetics. Really, really important to have that, to make sure that everything just pops off the page and sings and tells a story. Putting it all together so you have iconic images that just make the audience stop in their tracks and say, wow, who is that? Who is that photographer? I want to work with them. And then being able to put together a collection of these images and submit them to all these top tier awards. And you know what? Just do it. Whether you win, whether you don't win, I tell you what, as long as you have iconic images, you're probably going to win something. And, and some of these photographers, like we just looked at today, won seven of our photographers won in the top 10 fashion photographers in the country, and multiple ones won in the top 10 fashion photographers in the world. And 9 of our photographers won all kinds of awards, in a total 107 photographic awards. So trust me, you can achieve this success, and we will help you get there. It's such a pleasure to work with you guys. I can't